Hello everyone, my name is Anagha. I'm a multimedia artist. So in today's session, we'll be actually making a few doodles. So the main concept of today's doodling is to to doodle those art supplies that we use in our day-to-day lives. That is, if you are an artist, you must be having a lot of art supplies, right? So we'll be just making a collage of all those supplies in the form of doodles. So as informed earlier, the only thing you need is any kind of pen. So here I have I have a ball pen as well, along with Sakura, I guess. I have another pen. So you can make use of any pen that you have, and all you need is a pen and a paper. So I even have a ball pen, in between I'll switch. So just take any pen, and this, I'll be using this sketchbook from Zen Sangam. So Doodle is actually sketching. It doesn't include any coloring in this case. So doodling is just random sketching while you do during your free time or something. So it's basically sketching, okay? So for that, all you need is a pen and a paper. So these are the few commonly used art supplies that I have. So A4, you can choose any size of paper, be it thick or any thin sheet. You can also use A4 sheet, but if you're using A4 sheet, it'll be taking a lot of space. And here I'm using a small square sheet. So I'll be covering my drawings, sketches within this area. So yeah, you can fold the A4 sheet into an A5. And then commonly used ones are these brushes. So these are the few types of brushes that I have. And the paint, the bottle paints, the bigger one, tube paints, and the pens. This is actually a mechanical pencil. Yeah, we have normal pencils as well, right? You can sketch that also. This is actually a palette which I made for myself using clay. Other than this is also a commonly used palette, the round one, which you use for mixing the colors, and a scale. And this is the palette knife, which we use for taking out the colors from bottles. I can take out the paint using these palettes. Palette knife, washi tapes that I have, which I use for masking the edges of the paper while I'm painting. And these are actually sketchbooks from Zen Sangam. So yes, these are the sketchbooks. So these are the common things that we use as an artist. So we'll be sketching these items one by one using a pen on this sheet. You can be as creative as you wish to. Not just these elements, you can also choose those things which are present in your desk or those of your art supplies. You can very well go ahead with this. For those who doesn't have an idea of these things, this demonstration was for them. Let me clear a little space. So I'll not be covering the entire page with this. So let me just show you a rough diagram. Suppose this is the paper that you're using for sketching. I won't be sketching these things separately, one over here, not like that. What I'll do is I'll sketch each one of these elements. If I'm sketching one item over here, so I'll connect the next item just next to it, so that in total I'll be just making a collage kind of thing with only my art supplies. So that is what I'll be doing today. So I'll show you the supplies which I'll be painting first. I'll keep it on one side. Yes, I'll be keeping the item which I'll be painting on one side so that you can also see that and sketch along with me. I'll also be giving you a few tips. So another thing is that you don't have to be very accurate about the shape and definitions of the materials that you're painting. It can be as rough as you feel like keeping it. That is, for example, you don't have to make it as a straight line. You can using the freehand method, you can just roughly sketch directly with your pen. So you can actually do any rough, you can draw these. So for example, I'll sketch this and show you. My point is, you don't have to be very accurate with the sketching. You can just analyze the material first. It is actually somewhat a rectangle in shape, right? Not a perfect one. Somewhat like this. And at the tip, you have the cap. Right? And you have a whole kind of thing in here. So I'll focus only the main things of the material. I'm actually sketching this now using a pencil. We can also add your own detailings. And also, you need not put so much time for one material or anything that you're drawing. It's just a fun activity. You can just keep that in mind. So this is a rough thing which I made. So since I'll have to cover the entire thing within this paper, so I'll be minimizing the size, not as big as this one. I'll shrink it a little. So just focus on the shape and a few details. For example, this was a white paint, so I'll just mention the white in the paint in the sketch. So you can also start with pencil, and then once you're done sketching and once you're satisfied with your sketching, you can go ahead with, marking it with the pen which you have. This is not necessary. You can very well go ahead, take your time, and then draw directly with any pen that you're using. So this is the overall idea. So using this technique, we'll be sketching all these things to fill the page. You can very well go with your own imagination as well as your own things, okay? I'll start off with a sketchbook that I normally use. So I won't be covering the entire page as I told you, with just the sketchbook sketch. So I'll cover the sketchbook part in a small portion of this paper. Okay. I'm planning to go directly with the pen. So this is the sketchbook, or you can also have any of these sketchbooks. So you can either use your pen directly or pencil. Okay, the orientation of the book can be your choice. You can either keep it flat or you can keep it perpendicular or a little towards the left or right. That's all up to your imagination. So I'll keep it a little. I'm actually sketching this one. You need not draw both. I mean, that's also your choice. Like if you have your own sketchbook or any other material, you can go ahead with those references as well. So this is actually a rectangular shape, same way as this one. So I'll just tilt it a little. I'll first make a small, and it need not be perfect, okay? And if you look at it this way, there are a few pages visible, right? So what I'm doing is first I'll make these holes on the top. There are around 5 holes. So I'll first place 5 points and then mark it. Now I'm actually adding a small layer below to show the pages. And it's optional, by the way. A slanting line. I'm just thickening only one side. As you can see, only one side is visible. That is, this side is only visible. Now, as you can see, these ring kind of structures coming through these holes. I'll make 2 of them like this. And as you can see, the sketchbook is actually like this. So I'll also be covering this part. Towards the bottom, I'll have to make a few lines. I'm actually leaving a gap for the yellow part, and I'm just covering the black part with my pen itself. See, the lines are actually not perfect, but still the overall picture looks similar. So this is going to be my first doodle. It's not necessary to keep shading everything. Only if necessary you can shade. Since this book is already white, I'm not going to do anything on the top of this. Now everything looks similar now. So this is my first item. Next, what do you need for painting? I got my book. Then I'll be taking some paint. There are two types of paint, as I mentioned. You have bottle paints as well as the tube ones. It's not necessary that you should only sketch one. You can go ahead with anything. I'll keep it here. Okay, I'll put some other color. So this is the red one. So here in this case, as I mentioned earlier, I won't be drawing these paints over here. I'm planning to connect everything together. So I'll be drawing these tubes in such a way that it is connecting to my sketchbook. So that is, it is touching my sketchbook. So in one case, I'll be drawing this bottle paint as well as this tube. So I'm planning to make my tube somewhat in this orientation. That is, if I keep it like this, how it would look. I'm planning to align it that way. So as I told, I'm first analyzing the shape. It is not cylindrical. It's somewhat like a rectangle, a lengthier one. So first I'm planning to go ahead with the cap part. So this is my cap. This is the cap part. So if it is like this, I'll have to align the body this way, right? I'll extend both the lines. This is the last part. And here I'll have to make the shape which is there on my paint. The paint tube. And here something is written. So the last part I'm planning to do strokes like these. And I'm planning to color the cap as well. So I'm not actually coloring it like this. This is the ball pen that I told earlier. Even you can use your ball pen. I'm just drawing strokes which are closer to each other. And inside this, okay, it somewhat looks like the bottle, but okay. I told it may not be perfect. You can put any color that you want. I'm planning to go for red. I'll write it as red. And then here I'll mention acrylic colors. I don't have space. So you can add your own designs. And I'll add something over here as well. Here I'm fully painting it with black. You can try with your own creativity there. So I have my paint over here. And then now I'll sketch this bottle. So the same way I'll be like, it's not necessary to connect everything to the sketchbook. So another way is that I'll paint a few elements randomly here and there. And then in between their space, I'll try to insert other sketches, like the remaining materials which we were planning to doodle. Those things I'll insert in between them. So I'll keep the paint bottle over here. So this is how the paint bottle looks. I'm keeping it straight, a small cylinder kind. And with the cap, and you have a label in between. And the cap, so let me show you how I'm doing the cap. If this is the rectangle part, what I'm doing here is I'm just sketching these strokes. I'm basically drawing these lines but closer to each other. So I'm just covering the gaps with just strokes. So that is how I'll do the caps. So here, this is how the cap would look. And these are actually poster colors. So I'll mention poster colors. It may not be very detailed as I mentioned earlier. So I'm just mentioning what colors these are. You don't have to go for each and every detail present in that product. And so these are the two extra things that we just painted. Now we got the sketchbook, we got the paint, and now we need the paint brushes. So this is one brush that I have. Okay, I'm keeping it over here. Okay, this is a paint brush that I have. This is actually flat brush. Okay, this is also another flat brush. The color doesn't matter here, as we'll be focusing only on the shape. And this is another one, which is the round brush, which has a pointed tip. So these are the two brushes that I have now, and I'll be sketching these. So I'll keep it here so that I'll keep it on this side. So if you need to have it as reference, you can. Okay, and this is the smaller one. Okay, the tip is actually the one that you'll have to focus on, because there is nothing below, like it's the same elongation. Now I'll have to place the brush in such a way that it is visible. Maybe I'll add the brush. Okay, I'll show it with my pencil. So maybe I'll add the brush in between. That is, consider these three things to be in the front. I'll keep the brush, one of the brushes, here behind, so that I'll be placing the brush like this in the back. Okay, so that I won't disturb this part. Since it's in the brush is behind this tube, the tube will be in the front. So I'll have to erase the part which is going in between the tube. Just draw a line. I'm using a pencil, okay? So I can rub it off. So this is the idea that I have. So one brush would be like this, and I'll show you the other brush. You can also go ahead with your pencil and then sketch it afterwards. So the body of the sketch, of the brush. So you have 1, 2, 3. So this is actually the elongated part, the metal part, and the brush. So we'll have to divide it in such a way. So first I'll draw this elongated part. I'll just draw a long cylinder. So since I'm using my pen, I'm making sure that I'm not sketching anything over this acrylic tube. I'm drawing another, not so parallel, but yeah, another line of this brush. As you can see now, it is actually widening up as I go to the top. So I'll mark a thing over here. And from here, I'll just extend it a little. I'll keep it a little wide. Okay, it's not necessary to be in only pencil or pen. It can be of any other color pen. It may not be just black. You can go ahead with blue. After the session, I'll show you a doodle which I made using, actually it's a portrait doodle, which I made using a blue pen. I mean, any pen which is handy. So right now I'm using black. So next we have the tip of the brush. There's nothing but just like this. And again, I'll draw a few strokes to show the brush. And here I have a few ring-like shape over here. And you have the size as well. So I'll just write this 12 also. Now I have another small brush, which I'm planning to keep it like this. Imagine this is behind all these things. So I shouldn't touch the materials which are present already in the paper. So I'll make sure that I'll draw the same shape. Okay, now I have this paintbrush. I'll focus on this detail. This was a flat brush, right? So the one which I'm painting now, like sketching now, will be a round brush, and the tip will be somewhat like this, the pointed tip. Got it? So I'll start with the tip part so that it'll be easier for me. So I'm drawing this brush a little lengthier than the previous one, somewhat like this, and I'll draw the brush, and then the steel part, which is somewhat like this, a small extension, and with 2-3 lines indicating these ring. And then the shape is kind of different here. It's a little bulgier on the top, and then it's getting slim. So same way, I'll add a little volume here, and then I'll reduce the size, and it'll be coming like this. And I'm not touching any of these previous materials. The same way. I hope it is clear. So our basic things are ready. We have the sketchbook, paint, as well as brush. So I'm keeping it here itself in case you want to see it and sketch. Now what else? You can have a jar of water. Actually, right now I don't have, but the jar would actually look like this, or any kind of jar. For example, it can be something like this. And if the tip part, you can just draw any jar like this. If you want, you can have it, or I'm planning to keep this jar behind everything else. Okay, I think it is a little complicated. The thing is, you can do it with pencil. You can sketch the thing. See, first I'm sketching. I'm planning to keep the jar behind like this, in such a way that the paint brushes will be inside the jar. Got it? Okay. Somewhat like this. Okay, these are the paint brushes. This is what I'm planning to do now. So I'm taking my pencil. I'll first sketch the jar like this, and then the tip of the brush is where the tip of the jar would be. Now the remaining part, that is this paint box, like paint tube, I'm rubbing it off, and after this now it is clear, right? So first I'll sketch it with pencil, and then wherever the which all places I have to remove, I'll just remove it with the eraser. And now I'm using a ball pen, and I'm making this jar. So this is the case. Zen Sangam is actually conducting a contest on the theme Daily Life Doodling Challenge. So as the name suggests, it's all about doodling about your daily life. So here what you have to do is, so now you understood the concept of doodling, right? You don't have to be very accurate. It's just sketching during your free time. Here what we are doing is, in this challenge, you're supposed to doodle your day-to-day activities, be it in your home, office, school, or while you're traveling, or while you're on your vacations, or outdoors, whatever it is. It's all about doodling your day. You can use, there is no restriction that you should use Zen Sangam products, but it'll be cool if you use their products. Apart from that, there are a few things that you'll have to keep in mind. This contest is exclusively reels oriented. That is, you'll have to post your work only in the form of reels. Instagram posts are actually not accepted for this challenge, and you'll have to use the hashtag ZS Doodle My Day. Also, you should tag the 2 pages of Zen Sangam. One is the main page, that is at Zen Sangam, as well as the other one, that is at Zenartsangam. You can check Zen Sangam's main Instagram page. You can find the hashtags as well as other details over there. So the last date is actually 15th December, and the winners will be announced on 25th, that is on Christmas. If you didn't know, this time for this contest there will be a total of 15 winners, so make sure you all participate. And also, not just the winners, all the participants who are taking part in this contest will be getting some goodies from Zen Sangam. So make sure you don't miss this. You can check Zen Sangam's main page to know more about the contest. It's actually pinned in their Instagram page. You can go through. So yeah, we have done a few things. Now I'm not covering the entire page since I'm making it like in small sizes. I'll add a few more. This will be the area that I'm planning to choose since my page is also small. So based upon the size of your page, you can increase the size of your images. Okay. Now you can draw a palette. Yes, this is the palette that I'm planning to use. So if this is not clear, I'll just show you how it actually looks. It's basically a circle, and inside that you're making a flower with these circles again. So this is actually the palette which I have, the one that I just showed. And there are many other types of palettes as well. This is a palette I told you which I made using clay. And one second. There is another palette, somewhat like this, I guess, of this shape you must have seen. And it's up to you. You can go ahead with any palette. So I'm planning to do the one which I have. So again in that, see, since this is a circle, the one which I have, I'm not going to use a round object or something. I'll just sketch it with my own hand. So I'll keep this palette a little bigger. Also, the size and the proportions need not be very accurate. See, in reality, the size of this brush is way too bigger than the one which I drew, like with the pink one. But still, I had drawn the pink one a little bigger. So it's all about your creativity and your imaginations. So again, using my pencil, I'll draw a round like this. So I don't want to go below this. So I'll just keep it above the sketchbook line. So yeah, this is the circle that I have. And this will be the center part, right? Somewhat bigger. Another circle. And then some bigger ones. Okay, now take your time and rub off those excess parts. That is those lines which are coming in between your previously sketched ones. I'll just remove the lines which are inside this brush, as well as this tube. And also, like, as I told you, I'm not going below this line. And inside this jar, I'm removing all those pencil strokes, which are actually coming in between my previous paintings. So now it's clear. You have the palette as well as the other materials. Now what I'll do is, now I'll use my pen. I'll start slowly sketching the border line first. And I'm planning to make it perfect. So make sure you just go along with the pencil stroke. It will be like this. And also over here. Now the center line I'll draw Actually, I have two dots, like dot like things in between two circles. So I also, since there are a lot of space, I'm planning to insert these in between. Okay, I'll have to remove the pencil strokes. Actually, I have another eraser. I'll use that. So most of the things are done. Now I'll add a few more things. I'm planning to do this palette knife. So this is the case. Like this is the thing. I'm planning how to insert this. Maybe I'll keep it over here. Or keep it like this in the bottom. Okay, that would do. So, okay, again I'm using pencil. So it has a body and the steel part. The steel part is actually connected like this. A thin part and the shape of this knife. So I'm planning to cover it this way, starting from this tip. So it's a little bulgier at the back. So I'll first sketch it. Okay. And then the thin one. And slowly I'll this part. Okay. And some splash of paint. This is how I'll draw. I'll sketch around like this and then add some extensions like this. If you want, you can somewhat like this. Yes, I'll sketch a small circle. Not that thick circle. And then I'll go around, making few shapes like this and few drops like this to show paint. So I can insert it somewhere over here, wherever if I find it empty, I'm planning to insert the shape. So maybe over here or here. I think here it would do. I'm making a circle and then the shape. If we can do this at the end, I guess, because I don't think it's fitting well here. So now let's go for the palette knife. I made the sketch. So this is the thing, I'm sketching it. The thin part. I'll do a slanting stroke like this for the body part in order to distinguish between the body and the steel part. Now this is done. What else? Yes, I can add the tape. I'll just add it here. So basically I'm adding semicircle kind of thing behind the jar. I'm just layering a few circles over it. Okay, this is for the tape. Other than that, I do have paper clip for clipping my papers. I can also add that. And we also have the easels, right, for painting. Just a minute. Okay, if you want to draw the paper clips, you can draw. I'm keeping it over here. I'll just take the stand. So yes, this is the stand. So we can insert this as well. It is just you'll have to make an A shape with a line in the center and something and a small line at the top. So this is the shape. I think I'll keep the easel over here behind everything. So basically, as I told, I'll be making an A shape with a line in the center and at the bottom, and even at the I have another line. So this is the case. Just make an A shape and the line should be at the bottom, a center line like this and something like this. So this is the shape of the easel. Now with the basic structure, now make it, let us draw another line like this. First draw the center line. You can erase this off. First draw the center line. The lines should be parallel, okay? And then now extend the side lines. And this line, which is horizontal, should be the one in the front. So you can rub off the lines which are at the back. And this line should be only visible from the sides. So this is the case. So this is what I have done here. I have the sketch now. Now I'll start with the front line, the horizontal one, which is at the. Now I'll draw the horizontal line. You can also make it 3D if you want. I'm just trying it. Then I told you the middle part. It is the middle one, just like this. It will go on, and then you have the tip. Now from here, drop another one. I'm just following the same line. So for the side, I'll add small details, the ones over here. And then I'm actually only shading the right part of the stand, not the inner one, only the right side of the side wala line. I'm just making it thick so that it looks a little. I think our easel is also ready. Oh, we can add a pencil. Keep the pencil this way, in the same orientation as the. I'm actually drawing two parallel lines. I'm making a zigzag line. So basically I drew two parallel lines next to each other and a zigzag line connecting the two ends. And then I'll just make a inverted V. I have my pencil. And if you want, you can draw lines like this or even color. I'm just making a few strokes. So basically I drew two lines and I connected them with a zigzag line and then made an inverted V to show the pencil. Doodling is all about having fun. You don't have to be much serious about what you're doing. Just enjoy the process. Other than that, you can also use those things that you find in the geometry box. Compass, if you want, you can have. Like for drawing or painting, what all things that you use, you can add all those things. I think it's not covering my entire page, so I'll keep adding a few things. Or maybe I'll add a few pens. I'll add a 2-3 more. Again, one I'll point it this way. Another one. Okay, I already started this. 1 second. This is extension for another pen. I'm making it dark. Maybe I'll keep it as the back. Okay, this is a reference which I saw on Pinterest. It's basically, what to say, a rectangular box with various pans inside, color pans. So I'm planning to do the same on this side. I'll insert it here in a slanting way. I'll make a small box. I'll make a box over here. Where I can insert the colors inside. So I'll make it like this. And its lid would be over this side so that I don't have to show that. So this is the lid part which will be coming behind all these things. And then, so inside this, so these are basically small rectangle shapes in which I can fill the color. So I'll insert, like I'll do the same with my pen, and I'll just keep two things for connecting the other lid. Maybe the lid part I can color a little. And then, not every color, actually we'll have to fill it with other colors since we are not using any color paint or something. So in order to give a little effect, what I'm doing is I'm only focusing two adjacent sides for shading. Okay, that was a little thick. I don't know if it will be good if I color any. Maybe I'll use my pencil to color a few boxes. I think that would do. Other than this, I told you I had a clip, right? Maybe I'll insert that clip as well, which is a rectangle shape. A rectangle shape. Okay. It won't be visible. I'll keep it straight. It's actually a rectangle, and at one of the corner, I've made it. Okay, we can add eraser also. Okay, this is the clip that I have. Also this side eraser. I can place an eraser over here, but I don't have a good eraser to show. Basically, it's another rectangle. And to make it look a little better. So the 3D version, in case you didn't know, what we'll have to do is, I'm making a rectangle, and then to which side it has to be projected, I'm just extending those corners, 3 corners alone, and then I'm just connecting their points, edges. It's basically you're drawing two same things and then connecting them. Since the front part is, the one that we see, I'll remove the other lines which is in the front side. So this is the thing. And you can shade the extra part so that it gives you some effect. This is the eraser that I have. So this way you can actually fill this empty spaces in your own way. I had used the pencils just for showing you how to sketch a few things. So other than that, you can go ahead with, direct pen. So do you want me to add anything else? So using blue pen, this is actually a portrait doodle which I recently made. So you can use any pen or pencil. So this is actually a doodling thing which I was studying, fisheye perspective. So doodling is basically some freehand sketches that you do whenever you get bored or like whenever you get a free time. So it need not be accurate. You can do it in your own. So this is all about doodling. All you need is a paper, any paper, and a pen. So I hope the session was a little informative. And also do take part in the contest, because even the participants will be getting some goodies from Zen Sangam. So, and also we have 15 winners this time. Make sure you go check Zen Sangam's main page so that you'll have an idea about the contest. Yes, the winners will be chosen based upon the creativity, originality and all. Also, you can share these works of yours on Instagram stories. You can very well tag myself as well as Zen Sangam. We would love to reshare your works. So thank you all for joining today's session.